Hello and welcome back. I'm still here in the cafeteria where I'm teaching, and teaching is an exciting thing to be doing this week with the events of this past weekend. I mean, we thought things were bad when we were on the brink of nuclear war with North Korea, and then things just turned even uglier at home. It was very frustrating. I spent an awful lot of time on Twitter, tweeting and retweeting. There's a problem with that, of course. That is very much largely an echo chamber. I sometimes wonder, why am I bothering when, if you don't agree with me on this issue, probably you're not following me on Twitter. But I think there's a need for all of us to recognize that there are many people that do feel the same way we do, that we're not all insane. There are more people still willing to fight world suck than there are people contributing to it, really. Fortunately for me, I can feel less useless in that struggle at work because I do feel like I actually have a purpose here. Talking with my students, we were already set to begin the year with a unit on empathy, and I think that's very critical. I just touched briefly on the events of Charlottesville with my students so far today, but we did talk about how the biggest problem some of these deluded people in these alt-right movements is that they really have a problem empathizing with people who are different than them. They tend to look only at their world and their small circle of existence and think that everything should circle around them. Minor interruption there while the custodians came in to check out the garbage cans and how they were doing. That was one of the gists of much of my tweet threads on Twitter, was that the Nazis and neo-Nazis and KKK members and other alt-right people, they are human garbage and they need to be taken out. They need to be eliminated one way or another. Hopefully you overcome ignorance with education. That doesn't mean we need to understand and accept their viewpoint or lend it much credence. They are human garbage. They need to be taken out one way or another because, like any other garbage, if you don't get rid of it, it's going to stink up your house. And even worse, there's the danger that you could just get so used to the smell that it doesn't bother you anymore and you come to accept it. That cannot happen. I don't think it's going to. I think that we do keep moving forward and making progress. Certainly, yeah, there's no denying racism is an ugly part of the United States that still exists, but it is not the same as it was 50 years ago when you'd have had a rally like this and the rest of the nation might have shrugged its shoulders. I don't think the nation is shrugging its shoulders now. I think there's a lot of people upset and recognizing there's too many problems in the White House with Bannon and Gorka and many of the others. Whatever Trump says at this point, after his very weak reactions initially, it doesn't matter to me at all. As long as Bannon is still in that White House, what he says doesn't mean a thing. They got rid of Scaramucci almost immediately just because he used some profanity. What Bannon does is much worse than that, so I hope he goes soon. But yes, I was saying, I feel like in my classroom I can make a difference. We do that through introducing literature and stories and sharing the stories and listening to people and teaching how to communicate with one another. Twitter does that, YouTube does that, novels and stories do that. And so that's why I think that as a current movement is afoot to introduce more and more diverse authors, diverse books, diverse stories, that's a strong and powerful thing. And although it offers hope. So as depressing as the weekend was and as awful as much of it was, I am still hopeful. Hopefully you are too. Don't give up, because things get better if we keep working to make them get better. Let me know how you're feeling about what happened over the weekend, what you think you can do, what any of us can do to try to keep us moving forward. Till next time, don't forget to be awesome, and I will talk to you again soon, still, hopefully.
Nationalism, our country is in a world that has to compete, and we have to compete with the rest of the world. I understand nationalism, and I think we get involved in wars we shouldn't get involved in.